supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
No! You are mediocre. You are monotone. You are mellow. But you are not vengeance. And you are certainly not Batman. I am the Batman. I am the real Batman because I'm legally blind and bats are blind. Welcome, everyone, to my short review of the movie that supposedly depicted me, the Batman. Came out a few days ago in 2022. My portrayal was by the Twilight actor Robert Pattinson. First of all, spoiler alert. There are going to be spoilers in this review. So if you don't want to have the movie spoiled for you, I would recommend stopping this video and watching another video on my channel after hitting the like, subscribe, and bell notification button, because even the real Batman needs support. But with that disclaimer out of the way, let us move on. Let me begin with the positives of this movie. First of all, who I found was the best actor was, I believe it was Paul something. He played the Riddler. I can't quite remember his name right now. But he absolutely nailed it with the Riddler because he always had you guessing. For the most part, he had you guessing. When I heard that the focus was going to be the Riddler, and this is what I found out whilst I was in the theater. I did not look up the script. I did not look up the spoilers. I did not look in the proper analysis. I did not look up the interview. All I knew is Batman was returning to the theaters. And I was going to watch it. Just like the sequel that will most likely be made, I will watch that as well. But for this movie, the person who played the Riddler was the best actor or the best performer. On the other hand, Zoe Kravitz, the person who played Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman, was, in my opinion, the worst performer. This is because maybe it's just me, but maybe it's because I've been spoiled by the classic Batman animated series Catwoman, where there was a clear chemistry, there was a clear cat and mouse game, there was a clear frenemy, a lot of people like to use frenemy style relationship between the Batman and Catwoman, between Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle. That dynamic was completely missing in this iteration of Catwoman, as this Catwoman was more concerned about revenge. As if there's nothing else in her personality that had any room. Even Michelle Pfeiffer. And by the way, Michelle Pfeiffer played a very good Catwoman in Batman Returns. Michelle Pfeiffer played a good Catwoman. Because the Catwoman is supposed to have a bit of sex appeal, a bit of naughtiness, and on top of that, badassery to her. For some reason, all this Catwoman did was just attack people and tell her backstory. Which brings me to another aspect of the movie. The lighting, which was, I thought, decent enough, but maybe a bit too dark. And the greatest positive of this movie is that it involved the Batman solving a crime, solving a riddle, actually doing detective work. And this is one of the reasons why The Dark Knight also works so well, because it involved the Batman doing detective work. And this is why Mask of the Phantasm, the review of which will be coming soon enough. I'm doing a Resident Evil video before that. But in the Batman classic movie reviews, I will get more into why the Mask of the Phantasm worked so well. And one of the reasons was because it involved the Batman doing some detective work. The music was also done pretty well. I will have to give them this. Jim Gordon, I believe Jeffrey Wright, who was playing Jim Gordon, he played a pretty good role as well. Colin Farrell, although his involvement was relatively smaller, I thought his performance was not bad. Alfred, the person who played Alfred, I can't get his name. I thought he was a bit out of place. So those are the actors. Now, coming to the negatives of the movie. First, Robert Pattinson. For some reason, he not only doesn't know how to act like Bruce Wayne, he doesn't know how to act like Batman. And I will tell you this, in the live action versions, from what I have seen, Christian Bale is the best Batman because he brings that sense of urgency, that sense of anger, frustration, all the rage, but also the calm, collected nature, controlling the rage. He brings that all in the same time. And he knows how much of rage to let go to get a possible result. He also knows how to play Bruce Wayne well enough. Michael Keaton was also a very good Batman because he also got the balance. But Robert Pattinson, he's only depressed man. He is so monotone for 99% of the movie. It's as if he is on medication for depression or something. I mean, good Lord, he sounds like one of those people from the 90s who do nothing but listen to sad love songs and talk about how disturbing and how pointless life is just because their girlfriends left them. He came off as that type of dude. And that is why I thought Batman was a bit wrongly cast in this movie. Maybe Ben Affleck could have been a better Batman. Give him a chance. I mean, I personally did not see Ben Affleck's Batman because I heard that those depictions of the Batman did not do the character justice. Not only did not do Ben Affleck justice, it did not do the character justice. Because I heard that they were on movies that were not based on Batman. Another problem with the movie is the length. Because honestly, this movie felt like it went on and on and on and on. It just doesn't end. Just compare this to the runtime of Mask of the Phantasm. And you will see why the Mask of the Phantasm, it also tells a very intriguing story, but it gets it over with in a timely fashion to the point where almost no scene is wasted. And I will talk about Mask of the Phantasm in its own video when I'm reviewing the classic animated movies of the Batman. But this movie, it just kept going on and on and on. And some of the parts that involved only Selena Kyle taking revenge and this and that and whatnot, I'm like, save it for another movie. Please save it for another movie. And also, I thought, yeah, the ending was done well enough, but maybe I was expecting a bit too much from this movie's ending, especially when it comes to someone like watching Heath Ledger's Joker being in the ending of Batman the Dark Knight, or at the end part of Batman the Dark Knight. Maybe my expectations were a bit too high. And finally, this is just a personal gripe. I did not find audio descriptions in this movie. I took the audio descriptions headset, and believe me, in a movie that is so dark and so dimly lit, I need the audio descriptions to at least tell me what I'm looking at. Like, what am I supposed to make out? So that was another negative. The story was decent enough. I will give it this as well. The story was decent enough. As far as recommending this movie, if you have time, go watch this movie one time. One time. This is a one time watch movie. But apart from that, the Penguin did not have a big role to play. The movie was mostly around the Riddler, and the Riddler edition is what actually was perhaps the strongest part of the movie, as well as his motivations to actually do what he did, tying all this back to Thomas Wayne and also tying this back to the Joaquin Phoenix Joker in one sense, especially if you watch the very ending of the movie, just before the end credits. So the whole thing about Riddler flooding the whole city by destroying the wall surrounding the city, that was done pretty well. The final climax, it was done all right. But Robert Pattinson, please, next time, show some more emotion. Okay? Show some more emotion. And please get into better shape. You're the Batman. Okay? You're just not some random guy in a gym. You're the Batman. You have to look the part. The best I can give this movie, 7 out of 10. I was expecting a 9 out of 10 movie, especially after Joker and after Spider-Man No Way Home. I was expecting a 9 out of 10 movie out of this, but I cannot give this movie more than 7 out of 10. And I actually had to bump that up from a 6 out of 10 because of the Riddler and because of the story. Those are my thoughts on Batman 2022. Let me know what you thought about this movie in the comment section below. This is the real Batman signing out. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons.